Hey guys, we're getting ready to move on to the next step, which is going to be angles. Okay, we're going to first coat angles. I typically like to run my angles after I've second coated all my walls. So my joints, my screws, my detail all have second coat. We brush it down. The next step now is going to put the mud on the angles. So before we get into it, I want to show you a couple of different ways that you can apply the compound to speed up the process. For me, angles has to be the #1 most time consuming process when doing drywall finish, depending on how many angles you have, depending if you have ceilings, if you have the legs coming down the walls. So there's a couple of variations of ways I want to show you. Again, your PB&J, your project, your budget, and your job size is going to determine what you want to do. But again, it's all about not breaking the bank if you're just getting into it, or if you're just doing home repairs. You don't have to go buy expensive tools. This is stuff that you can find for a reasonable price. So the first one is you're just gonna you're gonna run it like your screws, like I've been showing you guys. You're gonna use your thumb and your finger on like a wing, and you're just gonna run it up with your knife, and that's one way to get the mud on there, right? The second way, years ago I seen this guy, he made this video, he made this invention of this mud applicator, if you will, for angles, and I was looking at it and looking at it, and the more and more I looked at it, it was just a toilet bowl cleaner. Now I promise you this has not been in any toilets, it's only been in my toolbox. The way that I would use it is when I get the mud, I just scoop it out and then I mud the angle. I literally scoop it out and just mud the angle, and all this does is it gives me a good amount of mud to work with without me having to strip it all in by hand. It worked fine for its purpose, right? The next one I bought was this corner roller. I think it's supposed to be for paint. They say you can actually put the mud compound, and it's the same idea. You go ahead and you butter this all up, and then you run it in your angles. I never liked it. It didn't work for me. Maybe I used it wrong, but it didn't work for me. I didn't like it. Now, the next one I did like, and I found this on Amazon. This is really cool. This is like the daddy of this one, right? Like this is the baby bear. This is the papa bear here. This one came with a tray that you could, kind of roll in the tray. And again, it's for paint or for mud applications. And I just dip it right in the mud bucket and then roll it in the corners. It works really good. This whole thing comes off. I don't want to pull it right now, but the whole thing comes off, and you can wash it, hose it down. You can wash the inside of this. It's really good. It was worth, I think it was like 35 bucks off of Amazon when I got it. This worked really well. And then the last one that I have is this angle one. Now, I'm not gonna say this one in particular because this one I bought from a specialty store, a specialty drywall finishing store, but you can pick up something like this at your box stores. Home Depot and Lowe's have them. The difference between mine and what they have is this one actually has a screw on the top here, and I can open and close it to contour and fit the angle better, right? The ones you're gonna get from the big box stores are just preset. It is what it is on the angle. They're good. I've used a couple of them before, but I just prefer this one. A friend of mine, David S. I can't remember your last name, brother. Sorry, I apologize. But Sandoval, maybe David Sandoval. He had one, and it made it a whole lot easier when we were running angles by hands. So those are the 5 different ways that you can put mud on the walls. See what suits your needs, and let's get the mud on the wall.